Okay, good afternoon all. Hope everyone is well. Speedy, how you doing, my friend? Okay, let's have a little look. Okay, so we've definitely started off in a range, really. There may be a slight to it, a slight move to it. So it'd be interesting to see whether this comes down to the bottom or whether it stops around about here. Let me have a look. Yeah, there may be something like that. It kind of be interesting to see if that comes down. So, Akitri, how you doing, buddy? So we've got some. We had some. Let's just remove that. So just be interested to see if that comes down here. Okay, market is open. My trays are working. Goody goody. Okay. There is a lower high there. That's very tempting. Trouble is, it's 14 ticks. That ATR's high at the moment, so I'm just going to sit tight and let this sort itself out. Triple test might be a better option there. 1, 2, 3, or a let's have a look. 1, 2, 3 attempts to go higher. You got to be careful here. So we have got some news coming up in around about 30 minutes. So let's just put that there. Isn't it? So, hope everyone had a good day yesterday. I did watch FOMC. I actually sold a bunch of my crypto last night as well. Well, shortly after, market took a little bit of a dump. So I got rid of a lot of mine and just put buy orders in further on, about 10 or 12% away from where they are now. It does seem like prices going down. So, yeah, I watched it, and he doesn't give anything away, does he? He definitely doesn't. So, leg and a leg. Let's see what happens here. But no, I think the CIA need to start questioning, don't they? Not the press, because he doesn't give anything away, does he? Okay, so let's just see. It does seem like there is a channel there, which means I'm just going to put that there because that is likely played out, I think. Let me just see if there was something there. Okay, there is a channel with a break and a small low there. So I wondered whether we would get a leg up and a leg up and then come down. That is probably going to trap some shorts. But I'm just going to sit tight here just in case we have got a leg and this thing's coming down. And that's a trap. If this is a bigger channel, we could have 2 attempts to go higher and then it fails. So this is... that's interesting. Okay, yeah, so it triggered that, so this is going out. It's all right, I wasn't sure there whether this was going to be bearish and come down and take that out, so this thing looks like it is pushing up. So we are ranging here, but we've come down to the bottom once and we've bounced around about there, so... Trouble is, lately, these ranges have been a bit all over the place, so which tells me there may be a slight upward bias here. We did yesterday, well, we did massively yesterday. We had a huge push, and I do wonder whether we are extending something like that. There is a possibility, whether it's right there or not, or down here, who knows, but we could sort of continue that line. But that is just, I don't know, a rough, call it a rough guesstimate. So we've had a leg up there with the break, 2 pushes up to a new high. We've confirmed the top of this range, and then we've had a little channel with a break, or maybe a larger channel there, but we stopped here. I was kind of hoping we get down the bottom here, because when it is coming from top to, we've had 3 nice touches in the right area, which is good. bunch of touches there. So I was kind of hoping this was going to work its way down here and give us 2 legs. And the trouble is, when it bounces there, it starts to make the picture a little less. Let's have a look. So that's actually the failure. I wouldn't have taken that one because it's too far from the bottom of that channel there. That is a better option, but it's only first entry, isn't it? There's the first entry. There's the failure, so that would just be a higher low. But the trouble is, when that pushes up and starts to come bearish, you don't know whether this is going to come down. So we've got a bigger channel here, leg, and then down, because I was kind of expecting it to get down here, but then it's decided to continue on up. So where's it going to go? There is definitely some support around this area, around about here. So it may turn. It's hard to say. So touch. That is a nice channel. We are coming away from the top. So you would think we would probably get a break here, but my only slight concern is we had a little bit of a push there, and there was some support there, or resistance, whatever you want to call it. Same there and same here, so you just don't know. So yeah, it's hard to know exactly what. See, there is a possibility of maybe something larger there. It's a bit too large in my opinion, but let's have a look. There is kind of a second entry long there. It's not forming. I'm kind of glad it didn't. Because this picture is a little bit mixed to me. I mean, there is a possibility we've had a break and a new high there, so I'm a bit on the fence there. So I won't be taking this first one. If we can get a higher low, then that would encourage me to get in. But in my opinion, this could be a little channel coming down here. So so we had a bounce there, a bounce there, a bounce there, all in that kind of same area. That's interesting. See if we get a higher low. That's just going to push up, I think, isn't it? Yeah, it is a second entry by the counts, but that to me looks more like a little leg. Which kind of, I wouldn't want to go long there. That's just too risky. Trouble is, once it goes up close to these highs where it's turned before, coming back for a high low, I think it's a bit too late. Yeah, you can't really trade that in all fairness, especially with that little trend channel there. It's just too risky, that is. Sometimes they just go up. Not much you can do about it, but hey Jay, how you doing, mate? You took that bit. My only slight concern with that is, let's have a look. I love the action, but that's the trouble. There is so much of a variation of taking it. The trouble is, if you look on this chart here, that is a little short-term trend channel fitting nice. Touch. So that for me would just be too risky. Same there. This one you could probably say there's 2 legs, but that for me. Mind you, Marco said nice easy trade, so that's what I'm saying, that there's such a sort of a variation. Thomas Wade didn't take it. Marco took it. Let me have a look. Someone else said short-term trend in play, so they didn't take it. Looked like only one leg down. High low would be nice. Broke below the EMA, waiting on a high low. So it's just one of those things, isn't it? But if you took it, good on you. If you took it, I mean, it did push up nice and positive. There, you could say leg and a leg, but on this chart, it looked more like a short-term trend channel, so I didn't take it. High-low, I think, would have been the better option. Taking that is risky because we're bouncing off this area there. Let's see if it'll work. You can see we bounced there. We broke there. We've hit this level now. We've used that level again, so there is a level there, which is making taking a trade there risky for me. Down here, yeah, but that's too far in my opinion. Not saying it won't work. But technically that channel's played out. So this could trap some long traders. There'll be some longs there for sure. Let's see if we can get a lower high towards that to take that out. Mind you, there could be a second entry long. Let me see if there's anything more there. Oh, that's very tempting, isn't it? Is there a bigger channel there? I think there might be, you know. It's still a bit too far away for me, that is. There may be a larger channel in play there. That is risky going into there. It may work, but that is just risky for me. Purely the amount of times it's bounced off this area. Granted, it is a higher low for sure, but I think that's just a little bit too risky for me. Just doesn't want to come down, that thing. So the trouble is, yeah, Thomas Wade hasn't taken anything here. Yeah, I've that to me is a bit risky. You've got to really be out before the highs there. But the way it's bounced there, if you look across here, see, there's a bit of support there. It bounced there, it bounced there, and it bounced there. So going along there is a bit risky. Plus, that's a bit too far for that EMA for me. If that was further back down here, then I may go for that as long as there's some room to get out. But I've taken these trades before, and it's turned here. And screwed me, so we've still got some news coming up here, so that maybe is an overshoot. So you could say 1, 2, there may be a triple test there. Is there a measured leg in place? No. I could push that up a bit and it would still fit. Oh, incidentally, I purchased a Top Step evaluation yesterday or last night, just to have a little bit of play around with it. And what I'll say is, I don't know whether I'm doing things right. So I went into Rhythmic, I opened Rhythmic, I had to delete all the Apex stuff and then enter the new stuff in. I had to do that twice and I eventually got it work. But then when I went back to Apex to set it up ready for this morning, I had to redo it and it wouldn't work. It kept coming up saying you've already got one, and I don't know what I did in the end, but I managed to get it right. Is there an easier way of doing it, or have you literally got to delete all the Apex stuff and enter? Because you can do it on Tradeovate, so I didn't know whether to, if I do some other prop firm as well, I didn't know whether to do it with Tradeovate and just keep Rhythmic for Apex. It's a shame you can't just flick from one to another in a split second, but it just didn't seem to work that way. I'm thinking of switching to Quantower. Yeah, I've actually got it up here somewhere. Yeah, you can see it there. I just wanted to sort of have a little bit of play around with it because you can trade multiple prop firms. The thing is, I've only gone and purchased this this Guardian Angel trader, which I kind of like. But you know, I don't know. Maybe things will change in the future. We'll see. But yeah, I just found it difficult. I had to delete all the old password and the Apex and all that sort of stuff out of Rhythmic, and then set it up in NinjaTrade, and I got it to work eventually. But the one I wanted to swap it over, it wasn't that simple. I can't remember what I did, but I had to delete something. I think I had to delete Top Step out of the connections. Yeah, when I went into connections, I had to delete Top Step out of here. It's gone now. It was here. So I went to configure and I deleted Top Step out of here and it worked okay. So it is a bit, I thought it was going to be a bit easier. But let's look at moving targets. Yeah, I know a trader buddy of mine, Martin. I know he's been using it from time to time. It does seem more complicated. There's a lot less on this chart, isn't there, with Apex? So I kind of like that. And I've been using Apex now for over 3 years, so I kind of, you know, you spend 3 years every day, you kind of just feel comfortable with it, don't you? And especially when you're trading with money. And not only that, there's so much going on in the background here. I've got Replicanto, you know, managing all this, and I've got, you know, Rhythmic on here as well, which I've got to maintain and keep an eye on. And having a new piece of software. But I just thought I'd play around with it just out of curiosity, because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. Multiple Rhythmic connections work great in Quantower. Yeah, I believe it's straightforward, isn't it? But I did watch I watched a video of a guy signing up to Top Step, and he traded Top Step on what was it? I think it was Trading View. So I didn't know whether to maybe just keep it separate and just keep this for Rhythmic and something else. So I don't have to keep swapping backwards and forwards. I thought it was pretty straightforward. You could just flick from one to another, but perhaps it is, and I've just, you know, not experienced much of it. But I just wanted to try another prop firm just to see what the process with. And I will say, you know, by the time you pay for an evaluation, you're up and trading in less than 5 minutes. And it took me about 45 minutes to get the credentials through so I could set up Top Step. But I must say it's so much quicker with Apex. I do like Apex, but I think it's sort of my, I don't know, civic duty to at least, you know, I'm looking at this as a business, so you have to sort of prepare for just in case anything else ever happens. I'm wondering whether we have got that. Yeah, it's important. In order to use multiple Rhythmic connections in Quantower, you need to purchase the advanced features for $60 a month. Yeah, I seem to I seem to remember. I think it was what's his name, Alpine guy, saying that. So I did watch a little bit of Alpine. He got was it yesterday? He got absolutely crippled. I think he was down 36. I think he's lost $50,000 in 2 days. He's getting crippled at the moment. I don't quite understand how he does it. Was it yesterday? I'm pretty sure he was down 30. Was it the day before? I'm thinking, I can't remember. Got crippled. Took 5 losing trades in a row. Was going along in a downtrending market. Was it yesterday or the day before? Or am I thinking of something different? I'm sure somebody messaged me yesterday and said he was in a bit of a pickle. Yeah, it was yesterday. Down $30,000, $36,000. Mind you, if you can lose $36,000 and you've still made $300,000 already this year, you're not doing that bad, are you? I have the lifetime license, all features. Oh, for Quantower. Yeah, I think it's worth looking at. I think if you Alpine often tries to get it's exactly what he does. Now, if you've ever seen Mac and ever heard Mac talking about, he describes that as the worst strategy possible, trying to fight the market. But there obviously are people who do it, and if you can catch it or something when it turns or whatever, you could do particularly well there. But yeah, I think he tries to catch it back up to the EMA, doesn't it? But if you're losing 5 trades in a row on a strategy, something's not right. And I've seen him do it quite a few times, and you can't. When he's doing it and he's lost it and he's doing it again, you kind of want to shout the scream and say, "What are you doing?" But how can I cross-reference a guy who's made $300,000 this year? So that's interesting. So he's obviously. I do feel sorry for him because he had his strategy. I often wonder whether he didn't bother streaming because his strategy created a lot of interest and a lot of talk among the community. And it's funny that shortly after that, they decided to make some changes which made his strategy almost impossible. Tough for him. Yeah, they are. Doesn't make any sense. No, you can't fight the market, really. You can't fight the direction, can you? You have to go with it, really. You might get lucky from time to time. After an overshoot, then yeah, maybe you can, trade it back to the EMA or something. But when you lose 5 in a row, you've got to look at that and say, I've got to stop this. Let's have a look. Let's see if there is any type of a spike in a channel here. That might be a better option. That bar there. But yeah, the trouble is he's when he started sort of streaming and he started getting masses viewers and people. I know Kellyanne made a video looking into his strategy and volatility traded as well. Trouble is if you've got a strategy that's making an absolute ton of money, people are just naturally going to be interested, aren't they? And there was a lot of talk about it. So I wonder whether he sort of ended up sort of being the doom of his own success. Really, a lot of people interested, and strangely enough, shortly after, Apex decided, to say you can't trade without a stop. An OCO order, they made some changes anyway, which made his strategy kind of almost impossible. So, I wonder whether, because he did make a lot of effort to stop people from seeing what he was doing. But the trouble is, if you sit there every day and you can hear him talking, sooner or later he's going to start slipping and giving away little bits of information. And once the pot was stirred, then there was kind of no going back. So I think he'd been better off not streaming, really. Perhaps he may have been trading his strategy now. So I feel a bit sorry for him. Because when you're really good at something, incidentally, they have extended this offer, the 80% and the rest of it, for another week. I don't know why they don't just do it permanently. They might save themselves some paperwork. He's talking about Alpine. Yeah, when he was doing this breakout strategy, a lot of people started talking about it. I know Kellyanne did, and Volatility Trader. There was a lot of talk about it, and it goes without saying, doesn't it? People are making a lot of money, and then Apex decided to change the rules. Whether that was based on him, I think it had to be part of it, because if he makes a success of it and other people do, they're going to be paying out a lot of money. Now, granted, from a business point of view, if Apex are going to copy your trades, they can't copy it without a stop. Now, the reason he wasn't using a stop is he's not risking $2,500 of his own money. He's only risking the price of a PA account, which is $140. So from his risk point of view, he wasn't risking much. So the risk, the benefits outweighed the risk. But from an Apex point of view, they just couldn't do it. They can't trade without a stop. It's too dangerous, especially if it's all automated, because if it goes tits up for him, he's losing on, $140 in a PA. They're losing a lot more. So if there's a bigger channel up here, we've got a leg and a leg down, a push up and a higher low there, but that is actually second entry long, but it's into. I wonder if this is coming down, but we've had a leg and a leg and a leg. So, that's an overshoot, so that's a correction. So I think it's likely we're going to attack these highs, but that is just too risky below that EMA. Yeah, so that EMA's flat now, so you're going to be dead careful here. A leg and a leg, I think it's likely. News coming. Good point. I'm glad you said that, mate. I'm glad you said that. Where's my news gone? Here it is. Right out of view. I'm glad you said that. News in about 3 minutes. Yeah, 10 a.m. Yeah. Hey, Sean. How you doing, mate? Yeah. You don't want to get stuck into a trade like that and the thing drops like a stone. Yes. So I've got these great big letters, but they're just out of shot. So, kind of useless. Yeah. So we had a leg and a leg and a leg, and I think it was likely to push up to get these highs. I think there is a channel there. It's an overshoot. See, you can, a little bit of sideways and then a correction, then a push above the EMA. So I think there was a good chance it was going to get up here. But that to me was just a bit too risky. The higher low would have been the better option, drop down below there and above the EMA, but the EMA went a bit flat, and then someone reminded me we got the news. So not a good idea. Let me just remove that a minute. I'm not necessarily a fan of that now. There may be something larger. Possibly. Okay, news is in just under 2 minutes. So we didn't quite get there and we had a big drop. So going long here for me is not a good idea. We've had a leg and a leg, a leg and a leg. We could get a leg and a leg down. Let's just see where this does fall. See if it let's see if what it does here. In fact, what I should do actually is when we've got news, I should, because I can put it in my settings in Guardian Angel Trader not to trade between a certain time, so I could set it to not get into a trade 10 minutes before the news and like 5 minutes after. So you can do that. So you wouldn't accidentally. I accidentally traded through the news once, but it was on an evaluation, so it didn't really cause me any problems. But I think I had a 2-point stop and it went through quick and took me out for 5 points in the end. So you're trading 20 accounts and you've got a 2-point stop and it moves quick enough, you can end up getting stung for a lot more. Okay, news is in about 20 seconds. It is holding that line, so you could say after an overshoot of this channel, 2 legs back a correction, getting close to payouts. Don't think about it, mate. Don't think about it. Just keep doing your stuff. Are you talking about me? Oh, am I getting close to payments? Not really. My accounts are between 1,300 and 1,500 at the moment. So I've got about 7 trades away. It was a lot slower because I was trading 10 and 10. If I'd have traded them all in one, then yeah, I would have done. So leg and a leg. So there's our news. So we can get rid of that now. There's a lower high there. Leg and a leg. Did you manage to check out using other data products? No, I haven't, mate. Let me make a note of it. About it, to be fair. It was Charlie Baker I was going to have a word with, wasn't it? Message. I'll have a chat with that Charlie Baker. I think he'll know. Let's have a little look at this. Okay, so far, 2 legs back. It can't go any further. 1 leg, 2 legs. Okay, I can go with that. On the bodies, so leg and a leg. So let's see if this pushes off in that direction. If it is, then there may be something larger. So that measured leg played out. So we got a channel with a break and a new low, and now push up. Let's see what happens now. So we've pushed above there, which is interesting. So leg and a leg. I wonder. Possible, but just not yet. Could be something like that. I like the fact that we've had 2 legs and a push up, but now this thing looks like it's coming down. K3, how you doing, bud? Sorry, mate, I didn't see you there. Another warm day in the UK today. I think we got 30, 31 degrees centigrade somewhere in the UK. Usually in London, it tends to get a bit warmer down there. They tend to get warmer weather. Mm. It is looking like it might be coming down into this range. Let's have a look. We seem to be doing this still, don't we? Oh, that kind of looks like a spike in a channel, doesn't it? Let's go. Yeah. What I will do is just put that there like that, just in case this thing stops there. So if we can get this, it is really looking like a range, isn't it? Let's just see what happens when we get to here. That's interesting, isn't it? So when we had this, we had a break, came down, made a new low. So after this first touch, I wouldn't be surprised if we do come down, but it's going to have to be one hell of a good setup to get me interested. Sometimes it just pushes up, turns and comes down. You don't get an entry. Interesting. Okay, let's see what happens with this short. See if it does push down below there. I wouldn't want a long off there. I wouldn't want a short there either, just in case something larger is in play. Okay, that has made a new low. Let's see if it holds down there. Okay, so if we get another leg, that would take us down to these lows, right down to them. So it is very much looking like range now, I think. Let's put that there like that. There is a failure there, but I just don't like that. We've already made a new low there. Whether there is something larger, I don't know. But the last time we came down to it, we hit a bunch of times and turned. We did exactly the same there, and exactly the same there. So if it bounces a couple of times, this might shoot off. So going short with that trap is risky, in my opinion. We do seem like we're struggling here. So it triggered that bull bar, stopped it out, but it doesn't seem in a hurry to come down. So let's see if it does or not. Sometimes I look at the bigger picture probably a bit too much, but it just interests me to see if you've taken that line. Look how many times it tried a bunch of times there and turned. Same there actually, same there, and it seems to be keeping the pattern. So whether that will eventually push down or not, I don't know, but did you watch Thomas Wade video yesterday? And I noticed that we should stay longer on the chart. Did I watch it? Yeah, I did. I didn't watch it all. I noticed that we should. Is that what he said? Was it? I'll have to have a look. The trouble is, in the UK, sometimes it's around about midnight or 1 in the morning when they put these videos on. See, so half the time, sometimes I watch it on my phone in bed and I might not be focusing properly. So I kind of pick what the gist of the day is. It's more for confirmation. What he saw that I did. That's why I tend to use Mac for. So sometimes I tend to skip a little bit and don't listen. Usually when Mac, sometimes he can spend 10 minutes talking about the daily. So I tend to speed it up a little bit and just flick through it. I'm more interested in, did my chart look the same as him? Did he look at the same settings? What did he have that I missed? Stuff like that. So sometimes I'll skip them a little bit, but I'll have a look again later. I do tend to pay a little bit more attention to Thomas's than Max, really. I love to hear what Max got to say, but I tend to get a little bit more from Thomas lately. I think I would just wish Mac had opened up a little bit more. So let's see. So leg down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. Is this going to push through that lot, or are we going to be stuck on that line again? I mean, if you look at that channel, we've already had a new low. Let's see if we get down here. I mean, it's pretty much rangy. The only trouble is, as long as that doesn't turn now, I think we're okay to get rid of that now. I just kind of like to be aware that okay, I think that's coming down now, so I may move that up a bit. And just put that there. Start trading all day. You are. Yeah, I mean, I've spoke to Marco about this. And he said after about 3 hours, he's like a zombie. So I tend to not feel it really. I feel okay now. And what I will say, yeah, is, well, I did say there was I was probably going to start trading a little bit more. But if I can get a trade, I'm kind of okay. I'm sort of very much in the one and done type of scenario at the moment. Reason being is there hasn't been a massive amount of, that's interesting, there hasn't been a massive amount of good setups lately. So if I can get one, I'm kind of happy and I want to kind of finish, you know what I mean? That bull bar triggered and has got stopped out now. So I think it's likely this is going to go down. My only slight concern is that it may come back up above that. It's going to, is it? So I'd say maybe that might be something like that. So I am thinking about trading longer. I did say I was going to do it, especially if I've missed a trade. Yeah, they are big. I mean, that ATR, I mean, usually, you know, around news and stuff, although the news didn't really do anything. In fact, I can't remember where the news was. Was it here or something? I know it was that bar there, wasn't it? But that was it. But it's not often the ATR is over 3 today, in the day, is it? But what you can do really is just go down to one contract if the risk's a bit much. So I looked at that one. I like the way it was trapping that big bull bar, so you'd think we'd get another leg down, but it's just, it's large, that, and it didn't come back. So that's a bit risky. So a tick above. Flipping hell, yeah, look at that. So let's say there and there. Tick above, tick below. That's 5 points. 5.25 points. I'm not risking that. No way, Jose. Hopefully they settle and this thing drops. There's another bearish bar there, see, but it's like 21, 23 ticks. What's that about? I think it's fair to say we are doing something like this. So I think it's likely we do come down there, but it could tick you out, pop up here, have a break, take out that, and then come down. Okay, so I think it's likely we're going to get down here. My only slight concern is if we keep it like it was, and that is a bit of a breakout, we may get the same here. So, excuse me a sec. Okay, so we're down here now. We may, after this, get a bit of an extra drop here. So, we've definitely had a measured move there, no argument. That's played out. Hmm. Yeah, Thomas Way's just put his chart on the same. He's got it the same, so that's good. That was 30 seconds ago. So that always puts my mind at rest. Where's he got the bottom? Same place. So, so if this is ranging, you could say we've had a break at the top. And often we do get the opposite. The other end. Would I want to go long back into it then? No, not really. Trouble is, if it pushes up and tests this, you don't know whether it's going to come down even more. So it's a bit of a sit and wait time this is at the moment. Measured leg is played out even if you go from the tops. Either way. If you go from there to there or there, it's definitely played out anyway. So, strong push back up. So, what's going to happen here? Is this thing going to continue or is it going to start to push back into the range? Trouble is, because that's a channel, I'd like to see a break and an attempt to go lower. So, long is off the question at the moment. ATR's dropping a bit, but it's still large. So up to the top of the channel. In fact, I can bring that even tighter. And down possibly some more. I have a feeling that's going to turn and push back up though. See if it triggers and pushes up. No, it didn't trigger it there. It did on that chart there. Let's see if it breaks. Yeah, that bearish bar, it's triggered it. Is that going to stop above there? Yeah, it has. So that's interesting. So that will be a second entry short. Do I really want to go short? Not really. Not when we're sat right on top of this. But also, I don't want to go long because we've had a break of it, so it may make an attempt to come down. Okay, now second entry short triggered. I was kind of hoping that was going to trap and push up. Well, you could say, actually, that's a triple test. 1, 2, 3, but I'm just staying out of anything here at the moment. It's a bit sideways. It's a little bit congested there. Could go down some more. Could try and break the lows. I don't think it will because we've already broke the lows already. So whether that will continue down and break the lows from this, I don't think it will. It's just a no trade zone here at the moment, isn't it? Okay, what do I know? So, break, new low. Doesn't often do that, does it? Break straight away. I like to give it a chance to have a couple of legs when it breaks. But if you look at that, you could say it was a triple test. You took it as 3. Yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, a couple of people took it as a triple test. I'd have preferred to tick above there first, really. I just, it didn't look very good on these other two charts. You don't know after this whether we're going to get a leg and a leg because it's such a steep downtrend. Let's have a look. Who took it? 2 people took it that I can see. 3. Okay, a few people did. Sits in on the daily. 1, 2, 3. I'd have preferred that to tick above it. Oh, yeah, Thomas Way took it as well. Let's have a look. Yeah, my only slight concern is I'd have preferred it to trigger above there. Trouble is, you've had a leg up like that and a pullback. You don't know whether we're going to get another leg. The trouble is it went down, then started to come back up, didn't it? So it's not something that got me all excited. Not like that ATR's high. So it was about 3 points, say, which is not terrible considering the ATR is just under 3 points. Could rocket the other way, sitting out. Yeah, the thing is, when we've clearly had a below this, haven't we? And we've come down here and pushed strong through the EMA. So you don't know whether we're going to have a little bit of pullback, trap some shorts, and then have another leg up. I'd have preferred it to break above that bullish bar there, so, but it didn't. So just not sure about that. Not only that, we could have a leg and a leg, and then up. So we got a leg up with 2 attempts to go lower and a leg up. So it's just wasn't a massive fan of that. But that's the thing. There's so many. There's so right. Okay, so someone had a better charts, really. That's better than I got. Yeah, that didn't look too bad. 1, 2, 3. That was much better. That was much approachable for a second. It was a second entry short and a triple test. Mine just didn't look like that. Granted, it was a second entry short, but it's a little bit square there, where on his chart, it's more broken up. On here, it's more broken up, but that doesn't look like a triple test, really, does it? The bar's naff there. It's not brilliant here. So, but I'd have much preferred it to tick above there. It did on the other couple of charts I've seen, so I don't mind leaving it. It never bothers me leaving a trade anymore. As far as I'm concerned, if I'm not happy with it or something is telling me that feeling, I listen to it now 100% of the time. And yeah, sometimes you're going to miss out. I don't consider it missing out. I consider making an educated guess or an educated decision. In fact, I am wondering whether that's even a break now. No, I'm not considering that as a break. It actually fits better at the bottom. Yeah, funnily enough, look at that. Taylor's just put the same thing on, so he's not got it as a break. In which case, if I'd have had that, it may be in a bit of a different story, but I still prefer... What I've found is if you're going short in a top area, it's always best to trigger a long or to trap a long. Now, on some of their charts, it has. Yeah, see, Taylor hasn't taken it. So look, yeah, Taylor hasn't taken it. It didn't look good on his. Victor hasn't either. It didn't look good on his either. So if that had triggered above there and more of a bearish pin bar, then I would have had a go at that. So it does look like this thing's coming down. And not only that, when we had that breakout there as well, you're thinking we failed out the top and come back in. And often we do get the same sort of pattern, the same breakout. So this is interesting. So yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it? Your chart might look slightly different. You've got to make quite a quick decision, haven't you? You could have got, but I mean, you did have a chance to get back into it on a limit order. You had a couple of chances, but I wasn't a massive fan of it. In fact, I didn't even recognise it as a triple test initially. I was aware of it as a second entry short, but it looked like a small break, and if that had broken above it, then I may have had a go. Yeah, it's a much better fit in. I just noticed this was coming away here, so... He's still in this, actually. Thomas says he's got it there. After the leg and that second leg, I don't know whether I'd have got out. I do see Thomas a lot of the time getting stopped out for break even, but he's got it there now. So I'll be inclined to follow this down. I don't know how much further it's going to go. It's definitely coming away from that side here. We could push back up, but so the thing is, he's secured, let's say 5.5 points when there's a potential 17.5 points in there. Oh, sorry about this. Excuse me a second. Sorry about that. Pestered by junk phone calls. Where's this thing going then? I was just reading that, bud. Is that you, is it? Oh, yeah, that one there. Yeah, it's got trap written all over it. One, it's an overshoot. It is 2 legs back, but it's peeking off there. Yeah, I was just reading it, actually. I think, well, there's a bunch of alarm bells there. One, because we've hit this 3 times and it's kind of ranging, so it could come back. 2, it's an overshoot. Overshoots usually, sometimes they'll make another couple of attempts to go and then drop. Sometimes you'll get a bigger correction. So whenever we get an overshoot, you definitely want to stay away from longs, definitely. Yeah, after that overshoot, yeah, you're almost always going to get at least a correction, which we had. 2 legs back, and then we made an... Yeah, so stuff like that. But to be honest with you, mate, when you take a trade like that and you lose it, you learn. So sometimes... well, in fact, not sometimes, all the time that you take those, you'll start to realise, once you've lost them a couple of times, yeah, if ever the trend is going up and you get an overshoot, never think about taking longs. Give it time to correct. And often we'll have a steeper correction. Sometimes we'll have an all-out reversal. To me, we had a correction, or maybe there, and a couple of attempts to go higher, and then it couldn't get up again, and we had another leg and a leg and another attempt, and then it just turned. Yeah, whenever we have an overshoot, avoid trades in that direction. Sometimes we'll break out that side, have a correction, break out here, and then it will push up. You can go long, but yeah, always avoid those, bud. But it's how you learn. It's how I learnt. You know, you know, if ever you get battered in the market or you lose a trade, don't look at it as punishment or don't beat yourself up. You know, think of it as a lesson, because it really is how you learn. You know, you don't learn not to run at the swimming baths without slipping on your arse and you know, a few times. But you learn, don't you? don't know how many times you see kids running next to a swimming pool and they end up falling over and hurting themselves. But, you know, it's the older and wiser people that have been there and done it. But, yeah, if ever you get yourself into a situation like that, don't beat yourself up. It really is how you learn. You're welcome, mate. You're welcome. So there is a small break there. We do seem to be. In fact, I do wonder whether this thing's going to stretch out again. The trade that everyone just took now, second entry short. It's very similar with no overshoot. Yeah. Yeah, overshoots are alarm bells, really. You often get a pullback. That will attract some traders. And if you notice, when it hit the stop, we had a nice, you know, consistent push down of a couple of points there. But yeah, it's not only that, normally that would be way too far from that EMA for me. We've had that big push up really already. So yeah, just avoid them. But it is how you learn. But when it happens, it is, I absolutely get it. It is frustrating. But look upon it as a free lesson, a really useful lesson. So I'm a bit unsure exactly what's going on here. That is fitting really nice there. No argument. But we are coming away here. We're a little bit of distance there, a little bit more distance, and a little bit more distance still. And when that happens, almost always we get a break, which we have. And we're one tick off the lows. But yeah, anytime you want to message me and have a chat or ask any questions, I tell you what, I don't know how many times I lay in bed at night, sleepless nights. You can tell if you listen to me that I'm quite a hyper person. And I can't tell you how many times I lay in bed at night not understanding something. I remember one night not understanding what failures are. I just couldn't get my head around it for some reason. They're not as difficult as it kind of sounds, but and I remember messaging someone at about 2 o'clock in the morning. It was obviously a bit earlier in the US, and I always got answers, and it is frustrating when you're learning. It does take time, and you want to know. You want to get these things clear in your head. So, you know, I've said it before. Anytime you guys want to message me, private message me on Facebook or whatever, fire away. Failures used to be the worst thing to... Yeah, I couldn't understand them. And people tried to explain them to me, and it just didn't seem to make sense. Simple things that I find simple now, I used to find difficult to get my head around. But it's like anything. If you don't know... You know, if no one's ever shown you, then you don't know. But I was forever. I remember Daniel said something to me once. I was looking for second entry shorts. So that bar there, see, so there's a second entry short there. I was taking trades like that, wondering why they were losing because, you know, I was taking them in a... And I remember Daniel said something to me which helped me a little bit. He said, you're looking for patterns. You want to be looking for trades. You know, setups in the correct, you know, a second entry short is pretty easy to explain, but the context is everything. If the context is not, see, that trade is a second entry long. There's no two ways about it. But the context is we've had an overshoot. So it's a trade you avoid. But I used to take them all the time and just get chopped to pieces. But yeah, it does happen. It is how you learn. So look upon it as you've just had a really good lesson there. And now we've had that conversation about it. Next time you see an overshoot, you'll wait. And that's what happens. You know, all these little extra lessons that you're picking up, sooner or later they start to be in your head and you don't really need to think about them anymore. And the more, it's like ticking boxes, isn't it? You know, when this has happened to you a few times, you tick another box. And that's how you slowly build up your experience. And then what you'll find is you'll take less losing trades and more winning trades. And as well as doing that, you're constantly working on... See, I believe some form of training to help your psychology doesn't work. Whereas learning to trade, learning the setups, having some training and some training videos to explain things, that does. The only way to overcome your psychology is to just expose yourself to it. You have to feel it and let nature take its course. You can't really teach that. You can explain to someone the process, but you can't really teach it. You just need to kind of work on that yourself, and that'll sort of come organically. You'll get more and more used to it, and it won't be so scary, and that whole combination of your skill set and you're learning those lessons with your psychology and the exposure to it will start to just fall in place more and more. I still do stupid things sometimes, and I don't doubt I won't for the rest of my days occasionally. But you'll make less and less errors. You'll think a little bit more. Trouble is, when the motion's in, sometimes you make impulsive moves, and I still do it once in a while. I jump into a trade quickly. What I'm trying to avoid now is to use these buy and sell buttons. If you right click and click something, it gives you that little bit of time to think. And the trouble is, if you think, I'm missing a trade, and you jump in, I did it the other day. I took a trade which was a lot bigger, and the risk was a lot bigger, and I ended up losing $425, which was probably $100 more than I needed to. So it's that sort of inexperience and impulsive moves that we still take that will just get less and less. Yeah, it is strong, isn't it? I was just thinking about how there may be something a little bit, just trying to think how I could make this work. It might be an idea just to start again. That kind of works, doesn't it? It's not a lot different, really. In fact, we could probably even say that there's the channel. We're coming away, and we've had a little break of it, and we're down again. So, yeah, it does, doesn't it? So where the hell's this thing going then? Have we got any ideas? Trouble is, if you do that, you're missing all this. So I would say it may be a bit. In fact, I'd probably go with that. I think that probably is about as good as I've got, I think. Yeah. The trouble is that when it goes down like that and you get such a move, you kind of think going short is the last thing you should be doing. But it is surprising, when you think it can't go down any further, it just continues a hell of a lot more. And I think that's how I used to do it myself. You think, okay, we've got to be at the bottom now, and you go long, and it triggers you and comes down another 20 points. I'm printing the chart. It goes on my top desk of the wall. Yeah, absolutely. There are loads of things I've had that I've had around me, things to remind you as well. I tell you what, somebody once said to me, it's the old sitting and waiting for the perfect trade, patience. And a guy said to me, and it stuck in me, and I can't remember his name now, and he said, when I go out walking my dogs, I think he lives in the US, he sees this heron at this lake, and he said, look, he watches this heron, it just sits there and sits there and sits there, and all of a sudden makes a dart for a fish. It picks up a great big fish, and he printed a picture of a heron, and he had it near his desk. Kind of wait for that sort of perfect moment where, you can jump in, and so there's loads of little things like that help remind you. Hey Sam, how you doing, bud? Did you get into the Discord on Thomas Wade once signed up? The link on the website doesn't work. Yeah, it didn't with me for the first time, mate. Just message him and he'll resend you a link. It was a bit of a faff, mate. But I'm glad you've joined it, mate. It'll definitely help you. It'll help your confidence in your own channels and stuff like that. So for me, it's good. it's helped me. It just gives me a little bit more belief. Hey Chris, how you doing, bud? So yeah, just message him and just say the link doesn't work, and he'll send you another one, and then you're in. It took me an email, but he gets back to you pretty quick. When the news when the news, we got no news. I'll tell you what, I'm not even going to attempt to have a go at your name. I do apologise. The news, there's no news now. We've had news already today, which was 3 o'clock UK time, which is about 50 minutes. So we got nothing else. Anytime, Sam, anytime. Yeah, just drop my message, mate. Say the link doesn't work, and the same happened to me. How much I paid? If you go onto his website, it does show you two options. I think it's £30 dollars a month, or $105 for 3 months. But I couldn't activate the monthly, so you're welcome, mate. Nice hair and story. Yeah, it's little things like that which stick in your head. But yeah, $105 for 3 months. It's $30 really, isn't it? $30 a month. It's a small price to pay if it saves you losing one trade, and Thomas Wade does put his chart on constantly. What was this for? Yeah, he constantly puts his chart on every 3 to 5 minutes. So does people like Taylor as well. Marco's always talking. Yeah, look, this is the recent chatter, literally at the bottom now. Marco's chatting, Thomas is chatting. So there's a lot of chit chat goes on. That shows you his trade. So it's worth it, in my opinion. If it saves you one loss, if you've got your chart wrong and you take a trade which might make a mistake and you lose $200 or whatever, that's 6 months worth of. So it's worth it for me. What's a near perfect channel? Yeah, it is, isn't it? But the trouble is, I keep trying to adjust it. But it doesn't, because it's so bearish, it doesn't necessarily have to get to the top every time, does it? Oh, this is interesting. Leg and a leg. Is there going to be a second entry short here? This is interesting. Taylor's just lost a trade. He took that one. Got triggered. Yeah, he's just lost one. Oof, that's making me think twice. You took that one as well. Oh, yeah. The trouble is, for me personally, we've got a channel. I would expect a better new high than that, really. Overall, up 100. Going to call it there. Sensible decision, that, mate. One of the hardest battles here is to walk away when you're down. And trust me, I know. Yeah, see, I like the fact that people put their trades. Taylor took that trade, took the low high there, but I can tell it hasn't worked by the chart. There's a failure there that's trapped some longs, but I just don't like this. See, there is a possibility, depending on how you've drawn this chart, that we've already had a break. If you put it like that, you could say we've already had a break there and some pushes down to a new low. So the trouble is, when you're constantly extending your channel all the time, it's very easy to think you may have had a break. Thomas Wade score sounds pretty good. It is, mate. It is. I'm glad I did it. In fact, I actually messaged him before I joined and said, look, I have a YouTube channel. He was aware of it, and I said, look, I'll tell you what, if you let me have free access to it, then I'll put something on my chart and I can mention people, and it might help us both. And I never heard back from him, so I joined, and as soon as I joined, I got a message the next day saying, yeah, no worries. So I ended up paying $105, but he went, you know, he said, I can sort. I went, no, it's fine, mate, I'll pay for it. As far as I'm concerned, it's value for money, so I'm glad I did. Tough on that. I did look at that one, but it is a little bit sideways. So for me, I'm just going to sit tight here because if it is a bit rangy, it may do that. After that, there's a new high. So there's the failure there. Do I want to get involved in this? No, not at the moment. Because we've had a push-up, 2 legs back, we could have another push-up. So I'm just sitting tight at the moment, or it could absolutely drop. Thomas Wade's. Oh no, Marco's in a trade. He took that one. And he's out. Yeah, that's what I like. See, they put their trades on. Marco took that one, but he got in on... oh no, he didn't get in limit order. That's quite a big risk, that is, for Marco. 3.5 points, but he hasn't put it at the top of there, which is unusual, unless he just hasn't moved it. But I'm not a fan of this for some reason. So it did take that out, but he put his take profit was there, which I think that was good, because that was quite a big ass risk, that. Yeah, that was a big risk there. So let's say it's 4.25 point risk. So, and he got out there. Yeah, he takes 6 ticks, does Marco. So, so you could say that's a triple test, couldn't you? 1, 2, 3. Very tempting.
Order submitted.
Come on, push down. I ain't. It's a big risk, so I'm not losing anything here.
Order filled.
Okay. Yeah, it's everything out. Yeah. Oh, that's strange. Got $200, but I got a bit of slippage there. Okay, that's fine. That's all right. That was the triple test. That was the better move, I think. So I got 2 points, but a little bit less slippage on some, but everything's where it should be. So I'll do me. 1, 2, 3. That's the triple test for me. Probably going to come lower, but it was a bit bigger risk than I would have liked, to be honest with you. Capture image. Thomas took it as well. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I go for 2 points, but I got a little bit of extra. I lost a tick there on some of them, but that's all right. It is what it is. But yeah, 1, 2, 3 triple test. Sometimes if you get into these early, did you know what? I lost a few of those. Whenever it goes down a little bit sideways and ticks up, I've lost those before. I'm trying to get it. I was trying to get my head around it. I've lost 2 or 3 of those over the last couple of months. Those lower highs there. We get a small move down, a little bit sideways, and a tick up. Excuse me a sec. Yeah, so Taylor's back in this, and good on him. He's gone right down to the bottom. That takes a bit of nerve, that does. Especially straight after a loss. So he got out for 8 points. Good on him. There's his chart there. That's good. That's good. That is. I'm glad he did that because he got his money back. Trouble is, you got a bit of nerve to do that. So yeah, I'm just trying to think that one. I mean, there's a break of it with a new high, but I've taken lower highs like that where they go down a little bit and a bit sideways, and I've got caught out. And I'm trying to get my head around why. I'm trying to get a visual picture in my head as to why those don't work. So if I can remember them. If you can have something that relates to it to remember it, it stops you from taking. But what I've found is sometimes don't be too eager. Sit back and be a bit more patient. Now, you could have taken that one, but I don't think that one was the key either. You would have got your 2 points off it, so that's fine. So it did work. But that, I think, was the better one. No way. Is Thomas Wade still in a trade? No way. No way. Looks like Thomas Wade's in a 42-point runner here. No, surely not. Where did he take that trade? There. Yeah, Thomas Wade's. Hell. Thomas Wade's in a 42-point runner. Look at that. That's why he took it there. He's still in that trade. Oh my God. Flipping hell. I'd say that's the best runner he's ever had. Out 42-point runner. So on one contract, that's $2,200 just on one contract. Wow, that is good stuff. That is. The thing is, it's that bearish. See, he's just running it down and down and down and down. If he goes from here, if you think about it, there's your first swing, then your second swing, then your third, fourth, fifth, sixth. If you put it here, he's waiting for the next swing, which is there. And he's protected. Then he's there. Now he's here. Wow. So his runner now from there is consisting so far of a guaranteed 37 points. Man, after that break though, 1-2 legs down, I'll be inclined to ditch that now and get out. Get out for, man, that's some runner, that is. It's not every day you get a runner like that. 42 points, yeah. $2 grand on one contract. Wow. That's good. But that is, yeah, someone said it earlier, absolutely lovely fit and trade. I've never really done it because although it sounds lovely, a 42-point runner, is you might see that once a year. But I think the biggest runner I've seen someone have was the Gorilla guy, 37 points he had in a trade, and it was a lot broader than this channel. But the way this thing's working, trouble is, the thing is, you've got to be able to put up with those swings. You know, when we push that, you've got to put up with this. I mean, it comes back 10 points. If you've got your stop there, and this thing comes up and takes out your stop, you've lost 13 points. So that's the trouble. In getting these big runners, you're going to lose a lot of money in the meantime while you're waiting, because if you put your stop there and this thing comes back up further and takes it out, you're down 13 points. You know, it's all good and well waiting on these big runners, but this is fitting particularly nice. And while it's in this channel, yeah, I don't see why you can't continue to hold. Super trends, you'll get way more points. Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those scenarios where if you do take a setup, I think it's worth holding more than 2 points. Now, at the time, I just like to get me 2 points because, you know, my accounts are growing. Once my accounts get a nice cushion, and I can say, okay, that's fine. I'll risk $250 here because I think it's worth it. Because sometimes it may come down a bit, touch this, push up and stop you out, and you've lost $200. But if you've got a nice big fat account and you've had a really nice push down and you've got a nice setup, whenever you get these really nice setups, they often do work really well because every man and his dog sells there, which pushes the market out, takes out any possible long stops there, and the thing comes down. And even if you take it down to each swing, you're here now, aren't you? You're up 14 points. Imagine doing that on 2 contracts. If I'd have got out there, even if I'd have got out there, 16 points, that's $1,600 on 2 contracts. That's 8 trades for me. Just trail reasonable. Yeah, it's just, I don't tend to do it because Thomas Wade, I think he trades 7 contracts. 2, I think 1 with a runner and the 6. And the 6 with which he scalps. But that's solid work, that is. That's good, solid work. But I will say the market is definitely improving lately. Yeah, it's nice to get in and get your trade. It's just a shame I got a bit of slippage, but that's okay. Still up $1,700 on the day if you can get that once a day, or even something close to that once a day. So I got 2 points on one of them, but which was that one, but a quarter tick less. That's okay. Big enough account with 7 contracts, I know, yeah. But when you think about it, it's a shame you can't split it up with proper accounts. See, I'm trading 20 contracts on my 10 accounts. So it's a shame. I don't know whether there's a way you could work it so that you could, maybe have one of the accounts just for runners. I don't know whether you could do it, but yeah, 7 contracts. To trade your own accounts, I think traders tend to talk around about 2%, don't they? So 10, what's that, 7 contracts. So what you're risking there, $1,700, aren't you, on a trade? No, tell a lie. 2 contracts, let's say around about 3 points for argument's sake. So what's that, 300, so that's 9. You're risking maybe, thinking of 3 times 7. Okay, so you're risking, no. 150 times 7. So let's say you're risking $1,000 for argument's sake, somewhere around about there. So 100,000. So let's say $100,000. 10% is 10,000. 1% is 1,000. So you could trade that on a $50,000 by risking 2 points. So that gives you an idea of where he may be. But it's strange that he doesn't trade prop firms. I think prop firms are a hidden gem, really. Where could I earn 17? Well, I've got $1,700 in my account. Where can I earn that in a day? In one trade, and that's a low one. An average of $2,000 per trade. You can't trade that with your own money unless you got a big fat wallet, which I haven't. So let's think now what is going on. So channel with a break, 1, 2 pushes down to a new low. So are we going to get a reversal? Or what? Mind you, we got a crazy pump yesterday, didn't we? And we've only taken half of it back. So what did we do from top to... Well, it was about here, wasn't it? So we were up around about 100... It's a fair old move, 136 points in a day. And how much have we taken back of that? So we've taken back I know 2/3 of it maybe. Get a big fat wallet for that. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? That'd be nice. Well, let's hope we all will, mate. Eh? Let's hope we all will. Put it this way, for me, this is a numbers game. The longer you've been doing it, the closer you'll get. You can't help but get better at this. It's a physical impossibility unless you're sitting here all day with a pair of headphones on and a blindfold. You can't help but get better at this. You don't even need a strategy, really. Strategies came from people just sitting watching the market, so you'll notice things. But that was a clear triple test, wasn't it? So we had a break there. A second time to go higher. It's always nicer when that breaks above any previous stuff and then drops down. But yeah, there's me panicking trying to get out for 2 points and it just clearly goes down. But as I'm trying to build my accounts, those $200 per account is important to me at the moment because it's chipping away at this little block. But once I can, this is a new level for me. See, I've not. The most I've withdrawn, I think, is 4,000 out of 2 accounts. So I'm planning on taking 1,000. That's $10,000 payment. That's a big jump up for me. See, so I kind of want to get there. And once you got there, then you start build your accounts to the next level, and that's when you'll start to think this is worth holding on. Clear triple test out this. And if you can hold on even just down to, the swings, there's your swing there, isn't it? That comes down and gets you. But look, there's 15 points. It's a chunk of that is 15 points. How are you managing tax? Well, I am coming to break even. So if I withdraw $1,000 out of these 10 accounts, that will put me into the tax threshold. Now, obviously, I've spent a lot of money on evaluations and stuff like that. I paid 300 quid nearly for that Guardian Angel Trader. I'm trying to sort of, anything I buy, I bought an air conditioning unit for this to sort of keep me cool. So, I have put money in, so that will put me over break even. So at that point, then absolutely you can. Absolutely, yeah. Anything you pay to do with trading, any equipment, anything you can offset against your tax. So once I tip the balance, then I'll start keeping tabs of anything I make, and then obviously I'll have to sort of do a self-assessment at the end of the year, but I'm just trying to think where the 40% tax bracket is. I can't remember now. It's over a certain amount. I can't remember, but I said to my wife about that. She went, "What? You'll pay more tax?" I went, "Well, yeah." She went, "Well, is it worth doing it?" I went, "Well, of course it is." It's like saying, what's the point of being a millionaire? You'll pay more tax. Well, you will, but you're still going to be a millionaire. You're still going to earn a lot of money. I think the first 10k is free from CGT. What's that, bud? CGT. Are you on about in payments from a prop firm? Because I know with Apex, the first $25,000 from each account you get without paying them 10%. Oh, capital gains. Right, okay. Now, this is something I looked into. You can't put this down as capital gains because I'm classed as a contractor. Apex pay me. I don't trade a real live account. Apex pay me. If I trade my own account with my own money, that is capital gains, and you pay about 22%. So, yeah, but because you're with Apex, it comes under the a contractor, and I get paid directly from them. So I'll pay the full whack, which is, but it is what it is. You earn more money, you pay more tax. It's kind of, it's just one thing you can't really avoid, really. But it is a journey. It does take time. You can't all of a sudden start making a ton of money and then make your own account. It takes, you know, a fair few years, I'd say. You know, I'd say in a couple of years from now, I'll be earning a nice living. I'll be trading my own account. That I'm sure of. But it doesn't happen overnight. You've got to step up to these different levels. And someone told me once you can trade, money just follows. So what's going on here? Is that explained in the Apex? No, I think Sam mentioned that to me. I'll look into it a bit more when I get a bigger payment. But yeah, it's capital gains tax if you have your own account, and it comes under you being a contractor. So it just goes down as an income. So I'm classed as a sole trader. But obviously you can offset certain stuff. So, so I'd rather spend, you know, obviously as money gets a little bit better, I'd rather spend money on better computer equipment than give it to the tax man. So there are certain things like that. I'm going to need a Rolex to tell the time because I need to keep on top of, so that'll go down as a business expense. Needs to be reliable. 3 contracts, sell 2, hold 1. Keep as a runner and then move stop to break even. Yeah. I've thought about so many different ways of doing things. So I remember hearing Mac mention that you don't want to trade any more than 20 or 25% of your risk on your runner. So that would mean you would need either 4 or 5 contracts to get a runner. Because although Thomas had that great big runner, he'll follow this down. So like I say, a lot of times he'll get stopped out. See, if he takes that trade, puts his stop in, and this thing comes down for 10 points, comes down and takes him out, he'll lose that 10 points. And Marco does tend to trade that way. He follows down these, and it doesn't always work. A lot of times it'll come back and get him. But I've seen him lose 8 or 10 points, and it'll come back and get him. So I was kind of not a fan of runners. I saw more of them get stopped out. But Max still takes them, you know, and he takes them from a point. At least if I was going to get into runner, it would be when the market is 2 points away from price. But I don't know. I looked at them and worked out that it didn't seem to be worthwhile. And the longer you're in a runner, there's more issues if something goes wrong with your internet, and if some sort of massive news event just comes out the blue and market spikes. I kind of like getting in and out. You know, but things change. You know, I might have a different view on things. 25 monitors, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the beauty about, you know, the way the tax works. You can buy certain things for work. So, yeah, you can certainly, you know, as a trader. And if you're a guy, most of you guys are guys like me, with the exception of Karina out there. And we tend to like gadgets, don't we? We like screens, we like computers, we like things that are shiny. So, yeah, I mean, I'd definitely improve. I would like some 4K monitors and a faster system and a laptop. So if I ever go on a holiday, I can always trade. So there are things you can spend money on instead of giving it to the tax. My average winner is 300. An average loser is 450. Win-loss 8%. Yeah. There's so many ways you can... You know, I worked out once that 80% of my winning trades went for 6 points or more. So based on that, it was worth going for 6 points. So I've had all sorts of different scenarios going on in my head where I'd like to be, but you have to take into consideration your bank balance. Now, at the moment, I've still only got a $2,600 drawdown. So when I risk 3 points on a trade, I'm risking about 15% of my account. Which for a trader, any professional trader would tell you you're an absolute maniac. But I'm not actually risking $2,500 on my own account. I'm only risking $140. That's the price. So
You know, if I was trading 2%, it would take me 12 months to get an account up to where it needs to be. But that's the beauty about using prop firms. You can risk a little bit more. My win rate is around about 88%, something like that. So, you know, a lot of traders will say that they'll have a losing week. They might lose 5 or 6 in a row. You know, if you're going for 3 to 1, if you're risking 1 to go for 3, you're going to lose a lot more. You know, I trade high probability trades, so I'm not expected to lose nowhere near as much. So risking that little bit more, I think, is maybe a bit more acceptable. What time is it? I'm going to take a break in a minute, actually, and make a quick cup of... I haven't had my latte today. So we got a leg and a leg. 1 pull back, 2 pull backs. This kind of looks like it's bottoming. I mean, it could continue down some more. It's always possible. So we got to... you got to be careful here. There's always a possibility we could range a little bit. So going long here, thinking it's going to push up, could just bounce off this. So, not taking this. So we got it. Although that looks like a little channel, we've still got 2 little legs there. So I'll tell you what, folks. I'm just going to take this opportunity to make a quick cup of coffee. This thing could continue down. But I think it'd be unusual for that move like this and then just go straight down again without getting some sideways or some form of a bigger correction. So I'm just going to leave it there. I'll be about 3 to 5 minutes. I'm just going to knock up a quick latte on my coffee machine. And I'll be back in about 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay, so I took a bit of time. My coffee maker's steam is not working. Okay, so let's have a look here. Are we going to go down some more? Leg down. So not sure what's going on here. I'll have to really look at that in a second. That triple test we took looks much different now after I reloaded. I hate when this happens. Yeah, that's another reason why I have these extra charts on here. It gives you other options. It's definitely made me more trades, put it this way, having these two extra charts up here. So let's do this from the bottom. In fact, did you hear Matt talk about that last night? It was something he doesn't talk about much. I've not heard him mention it. If the channel doesn't look fantastic from the top, try it from the bottom. I tend to do that, and often it works. I'm not sure whether I like that or not. Tough one. See if that looks any different. I do like the fact that we are still continuing to make lower highs. Wow, so such a steep trend with that triple test. You'd think it would definitely retest this, but look at that. See, I got 8 for 2 points. Look at that. I don't think it's bad putting your what's down here. Taylor didn't he? Did well on it, 8 points. That makes a whole. That'd have been $800. That'd have been $8,000 trade for me. Wow, that is the type of thing that I will think seriously about. Such a nice leg down there with the break and a triple test. You think that's all day long going to test that bottom. But look at that, 8 points. So that's the type of trade when it's like this to hold on to. Now, obviously, I'm just trying to get a decent payout and move up the ladder on my trading. But at some point in the future, I will hold more on stuff like that, at least to there. And even if you follow it down to there, that stops there, tick below, and you get all pulled back. Once that pushes below there, just ride it down per bar and you're down to here then. So you're talking 10 points there comfortably. Problem is, you get 10 points now, you've got to trade your accounts till 3,500 before you could take a payment, which is not a bad thing, but if you've got other plans. How do you make the inside trend channel highlighted? Side trend channel. How do I, this here, how do I put colour in it? Is that what you mean, bud? If I just click on it, is that what you mean? Make the inside of the trend channel highlighted. Yeah, just double click on it. So if I just oh, is that what you're doing? Yeah. I think that's what you mean. You can change the colour and just change the opacity so you can make it as dark or as light as you can, if that's what you mean. How do you make the inside of the trend channel highlighted? Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure what you mean, but if you just double click on it and it brings that up, so you can change the colour, the opacity. You can change the colour of the actual trend lines itself. You can show the midline. So you can, how do you do it with hotkeys? Not a flipping clue. I'm not a hotkey person, me. I like to do things the old-fashioned way. I'm still even not a fan of that channel. It's missing all this for me. After that break, it may just be something like this. I don't know. Let's just see if someone else comes up with a better option. So it looks like we're recovering all this, doesn't it? I wonder if that fits better. I think the larger channel fits better. Capture image. It kind of looks like a two-tier channel. I like the way it's working off that midline there, and now it's working off the top. It's working right down the bottom of that midline. So I think there's a larger channel there. It would be interesting to see whether we would get another leg down. So let's just put it from there for now. And then there. So we would have to go down. Not as much as I thought, actually. Another 58, 57, 58 points. Which is certainly possible the way this thing's going. And that would take us to where below the lows of yesterday. But why can I not move that one? Where's... interesting. I like the way it fits in there. And then in this tier, so it kind of looks like a 2-tiered channel to me. Let's see if anybody else decides to do something. I think we can agree on that. Leg and a leg. This thing doesn't want to stop, does it? We've gone down over 100 points today easily, haven't we? Yeah, we have. 106 points so far. See, that could be a leg and a bit of a correction and another leg. Didn't we have something like this a couple of days ago? Yeah, we had something like that. We have had bigger swings, haven't we? And that's a fair old move, isn't it? And then down again. Okay, so we're at the bottom there. We're at the bottom there. Every time it touches this line, big red bar, what's this going to do? I can't just jump in randomly. The fact that it's done that is the time where it decides to stop you out. So we want a bit of a break here. Need a break. There is a gap to fill, isn't there? we're at the bottom of the channel there. At the bottom of the channel there, this is coming away a bit, so I'd like to see a break. We're losing a little bit of momentum here, so we need a break if this thing's going to continue down more. Right? It's interesting. It's only a first entry, unfortunately. There's a lower high there. I just don't like this at the moment. It's that bearish, but the trouble is it could get up to the top here, so it may trap that out. It's a little bit congested there, so channel break, new high. Let's see what happens now. Yeah, we're losing momentum there. We had to have a break really there. So let's just see where this thing is likely going to go.
Order submitted.
Oh, not a great bar. I kind of like that. Channel break, new high, bearish bar. Depends how you've got this channel drawn, doesn't it?
Order
Let's get rid of this for a
canceled.
minute. Let me have a look at this. I'm just not sure what I'm seeing here. Leg and a leg. It's a little bit of a range here as well. That's very tempting. Very tempting. But it's a big ass bar, and if I've got this channel drawn wrong, we could come up a bit higher, so I'm just going to have to sit tight here. Yeah, see what I mean? If I've got this channel wrong, it could get me into trouble. I'll be surprised if it doesn't work, though, in all fairness. Could be a larger channel there. I'm not sure about this. I like to think that is probably a better option. I'll be surprised if that doesn't work, but it's just leg and a leg. If you've got this channel on, we could come a bit higher. There may be a slightly bigger channel, but I'm not sure at the moment. You could say it's a failed break out of a range as well, really. 2 legs up, bearish bar. But usually when you get these setups, they usually work really well and really quick, and that is just not coming down as strong as I would have expected to do that. So it does worry me that there's another, we're going to have another leg up. Yeah, that's my concern. So if you took that bearish bar, what did you get out of it if you did? So tick below it, you'd have squeezed 2 points, I think, but let's see if that hits that knot or it traps that. Yeah, Thomas Way's just deleted all this. He said he just can't find something that looks right. I agree, it's hard, and the trouble is if you get it wrong, I actually don't think that's that bad. I think that's okay. You took that hidden second entry long, did you? Yeah. Let's have a look. I actually don't mind that channel. I think that looks okay to me. I like the way it's touching there, 2 places there, and we've got a touch, a touch, a touch, a touch, a touch, and close enough. So what I will say is I'm going to draw that now slightly larger and say we've had a break and a new high. So I would like to see a lower high, the bottom side of the EMA. So channel break, new high. I won't be taking this in case we get a second entry long and a second push up. So channel break, 1 attempt to go higher, 2nd attempt to go higher. I like that channel. We got a touch, a touch, a touch, and a touch. So that's interesting.
Order submitted.
To be careful here, I don't get stuck in a second entry long. That's probably going to work that, but I'd rather have a failure. Your bars look different. See, I did reload my chart earlier. It's hard to say, really. I'd try reloading yours. Or are they any different than any of these? Are they different than all of them? Yeah. See, I put my chart there. And Thomas Wade's done it exactly the same now, so I like it. If I do it first and he does it second, tells me I'm thinking along the right lines. So we've got a channel break, new high, lower high, okay to the EMA, but I'm not sure about going lower. So we need a lower high. A failure. Probably going to come.
Order
down this.
canceled.
I doubt we'll get a failure. We might do, but I was very tempted to take that lower high. Trouble is, it had a wick on me. Now, when we got a channel, a lot of times we'll have two pushes up, and we only had one push up. We didn't quite get to the top, so we could go a touch higher and fail. Yeah, I like it when he does that after me. Makes me feel good. I just like to. I still have this confidence thing that I like to just to check someone else who I know is more experienced than me is thinking along the same lines. It just puts my mind at ease. We do think quite alike anyway, so that's pretty good. Okay, so channel break, new high, lower high, push through the EMA. Maybe have a couple of attempts to go higher and then down. There's a failure there. Bar's a bit naff. It's getting a little bit congested here, so. Marco's actually just posted a picture of himself. I didn't realise. Yeah, he's not what I imagined. Data is really not working on Rhythmic. Or some shit. I don't know. Let's see what we get here. I don't know who the hell that is. So there is a failure there, but this to me just looks a bit congested, so I just want to stay out of it. And then when you see that thing, let me have a look here. Channel new low. This is interesting. This might be a better failure option. There'll be some longs there, surely, won't there? Is there a bit of support along there? Yeah, so if you'd have took that one, you'd have got shafted. So rightly so. It's a little bit sideways over there. Would you have got your points? Not that many, I don't think. Maybe not. You'd have got 6 ticks. Channel break, new high. Lower high. Wasn't so sure about that one. Failure. Triggered you. Came down for a bit and back up to this top of this channel again, interestingly enough. Let's see where we go from here. So I wonder whether, I hate it when they go funny like that. I wonder if there is something larger there. No. Break new high. Surprised it did that. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if now, the way that's come up, that we end up doing something like that. Well, I got break new high. First attempt to go lower. Let's see if we get a second attempt. We may get another leg there. A couple of people have hinted about a triple test. I'm not a fan of this. That is just one move up for me. This was just a little pullback on the way down. So that to me is just a first attempt to go higher. If we come down and have a second one, trouble is a lot of times we'll push up, go sideways and push up again, kind of like a bull flag, up, sideways, up, break new high, one attempt to go lower. Second, I'd like to see a second attempt to go lower. See, depending on how you've got this channel, there is a possibility if there's a break here somewhere. It's quite a small risk, that 6 ticks. 1, 2, 3. It's hard to say there. It's not for me, really. It's not one of my strong points, really. But I think you could certainly say that that is a small bar. That ATR has been up all day. You'd have got 2 points off it for certain. What is going on here? See if there is a possibility of a breakdown here. This thing could be heading up. But channel down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. This might be a penguin style trade, but he wouldn't take it till it pushes close to that EMA. I didn't expect that. I think there's a fair chance that we may have had a break of this channel at some point or somehow. It would have to be there, really, wouldn't it? Let's just remove that a minute on that. Start fresh. See, yeah, it's a bit hard to. There's so many different what ifs. Someone said the 10K has had a break of the channel. Trouble is, this thing is just. It's been pretty hard to. You constantly keep trying to adjust it and keep trying to adjust it. The trouble is, it can get you in a bit of bother. That's the only thing I can think of that resembles something. It's important to get some touches, isn't it? Can't find nothing I really like. I had something a minute ago, but can't remember what it was for now. Maybe we've had a break. I think this is separate channels, I think. I can't even see a break out of that channel. So maybe we're going to go a bit sideways before we come down. Sometimes the bigger this channel, the more it messes around for 20 minutes before it eventually moves into place. I'm going to get rid of that because I don't think that's anything interesting. So channel break, new high, a couple of attempts to go low. This thing didn't. I've had to stop doing this now as well. After such a bearish, I want to give it chance. Sometimes I tend to get in a bit early and look for something bearish, but I want to give this plenty of chance to sort itself out before it comes down. I think there's a good chance it's going to come down here, but I think sometimes you've got to be a bit patient and let it try and at least give it a bit of time to sort itself out. Channel break, new high, lower high, and down. I'm denied about that one. That one I'm not taking. It is a failure, but it's not trapping anything. It's always nice to trap something. Leg and a leg. See, there's like leg and a leg. Pull back, bounce, leg and a leg. Possible failure. Trouble is, I want to give it a bit more time before I start thinking about shorts just yet. It's a little bit congested there, just a little bit. So I'm sitting tight at the moment. Could get into trouble there. It's just something about that I don't like. And my gut instinct usually saves me more times than not. Yeah.
there'll be some trapped in there, I bet you. I just don't like this. It's a little bit congested. It's just, I don't know. You've got to give it a little bit more time. Sometimes if you lose your patience and jump in, it can get you out. But you learn after a while. Just to, when something doesn't feel right, just leave it alone. Leg down. That would be a better trade, really. Trouble is this starting to work up now? I don't think it is. It's probably just a leg and a leg. Sometimes it messes around first, but I'd rather just to start to see it work down first. Took it and got burnt. Yeah, someone did. It just had. I think at some point you get to the stage where something just doesn't feel right. It's, if you look at that chart there, it's a little bit sideways. It's a bit congested. Taylor said he was almost took it. Yeah, I get why he would have done, but I don't know. This is trying to make an attempt to go up, so I think it's going to pick off. I took it too. Yeah, so there was a few people who took it. I thought there might be. I've just learnt over time. It just doesn't look right to me. See, there is a possibility that we could have a break from here, whether it's there, whether it's over the bigger channel, and this could be trying to work up. But sometimes when you have such a strong move, a lot of times it'll just piss around for half an hour, go up a bit, down a bit, up a bit, before it eventually starts to work. And after that big downtrend, people are just looking for areas to get short. And that's the trouble. And that was one of them. That tells me this thing ain't ready to come down yet. And as soon as it ticks below, I'm not just saying. I still think it's a good trade. Yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it? At the moment, we seem to be. At the moment, I mean, we are making higher highs. Higher lows. At the moment, you know, you've got to. Sometimes you just got to look at the picture, and the picture is telling you at the moment this thing isn't ready to come down. Especially when we had a channel with a break and a new high and a lower high. This thing came down, but look, it halted here and started working up. So why did that happen, really? You'd think, really, this is where it come down. We're not far off the lows here, but then it started to push up another couple of legs. I wonder if we're going to start. I mean, after such a big move like that, I wouldn't be surprised if we do take a little bit of time out before this thing decides what to do. So now if you started from here, you'd go off this next swing, wouldn't you? And when you follow that line down, look where that's touched. So I'm not saying that's a place to go short, but it is an area that it's kind of a two-tier channel. Working that tier, then we're working that tier. So I'll be interested to see what happens there.
Okay, on this chart, a hidden second entry long there. Not that I would take it. This thing for me is more likely to come down, but it would have been nice to trap some longs there. But it didn't form anyway, so I think this thing is looking to me like it's coming down. Mm. Interesting. Interesting. Well, it's certainly turned there, and funnily enough, if you look further up, we started there, and there's a swing there, so it certainly could be a bigger picture there. Yeah, Thomas Way's just put that there as a channel, as a range as well. I like it when he does that. Kind of looks like it might range a bit there. After such a push down, I'll be surprised if it just continues down with that at least. But I think there's a good chance it was going to break that round. But we went up there, touched there, and more or less straight down. So might get a pull back here. It'd be nice. Hit this mid-range. There's an overshoot there, so but we're not that far from the bottom, so who knows. So however way you've got that one, the trouble is when you do have such a big move, a lot of times it'll do all this and eventually go. What's the next target? God, your guess is as good as mine. God knows. I thought there may be a couple of legs. There still might be. Whether you go from there to there, I really don't know how far it's going to come. It's not your typical two-leg looking thing, is it? It might be. After such a big move like that, see, that little for a second leg, that would be more like your second leg. But that would take us down quite a lot. Mind you, Albrook's been saying for a while we need a 10% correction, so Maybe he will, but I'd expect a bit more of that really to get this. So I don't know. Who knows? Can't find the next target now. There's a bunch of different trends there. That was, I think, the most recent one. I tried to find fault with that, but I can't. I can't see where that would have a break. We got a touch, perfect touch there, perfect touch there, near perfect there, and then just up. I think that it was always going to break below that one. At least have a good go anyway. There's probably a bunch of different other channels. There's that one I had. There's probably something slightly bigger. Trouble is when it goes down and it goes down sort of at different sort of angles, it can make it a little bit tricky. So I think sometimes it's easy to get rid of it all and just try and pick off the smaller bits, and then just be aware if there is something. But I think that's likely the way that came from there to that first swing. And it kind of fits in this bottom tier. I don't know whether it is or not. I mean, it's not so much important, really, is it? So possible overshoot there, but it may just be something a bit wider. I don't know. Oh, dear me. Excuse me. I think it's very likely it's going to break that. But I'd like to see something a little bit further back. How long we got coming up? 3 hours. I've only got another 30 minutes anyway, so I'm probably going to finish in a minute. There's nothing here, unfortunately. We're below the an hour. We will be in a second, and I think it's likely it's going to get in there. I don't think it's going to pull back anymore. We're very close to this low, so another trade. I'm happy doing one a day. I mean, I had one yesterday, one today, one yesterday. Can't remember, did I have one Monday? I think I had one Monday and Tuesday. So look, Thursday today, isn't it? Where am I on the week? So, okay, yeah. So, what am I up? 3,7, 4,250, 5,250. I'm up 6,000 on the week over all the accounts, just over 6,000. If you can get to, as far as I'm concerned, if I can get to 5,000 a week, that's $20,000 a month. That's $2,000 on each account. That's all you can really take anyway. So that would be perfect for me. So I'm going to leave it there, folks. Actually, I have done exactly 3 hours, and I'm in a good place at the moment. Things are nice, I'm ticking off nice one a day. That suits me nice at the moment. So I'm going to love you and leave you. Best of luck if you keep on trading. Really strong downtrend today, and it may not be over yet. How far was the move? It's got to be 120 points, isn't it, or near us? Sorry about that. No, we spent a lot of time going sideways, haven't we? But won't be surprised if there's yet more to come. But I'm pleased with the way things are going. I'm up my nice trend, so I'm not going to push me luck. So there you go. That's me for the day. Friday tomorrow, and another week gone. I'm not sure if there's any news tomorrow. I'll have to look a bit later. But I appreciate your comments. I appreciate you keeping me company. And I will leave you there. So best of luck if you're carrying on trading. Have a great evening. Stay safe. And we'll talk again tomorrow. Bye for now.